Hey, welcome into the shop, guys. Give me 1 second, I'll be right with y'all. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but I got a bird pecking on the top of the roof right now. It's pretty funny. All right, let's try this again. Who we got in here today? Michael S., welcome in. Joe, thanks for coming. Suzanne, nice to see you. Dan, Kevin, Martin, of course. Give it a few minutes for a couple more people to pop in, and then we'll get started. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hey, Plywood, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. Quick announcement. I launched a Patreon page today, and I have a limited seat kind of founders tier that will be the top tier, but at a discounted rate. It's $8 a month. We'll do one live stream a month that's going to be private, not on YouTube. Probably going to do most of my blacksmithing over there if you're interested. Just because I figure if you guys are paying to watch it, you're more interested in the downtime because then we can talk. Whereas if I try to do something like that on YouTube, it's just a lot of sitting around and waiting. I'm going to do small tutorials, tips and tricks videos, and all the time lapses that I release from any of my videos will launch there 2 weeks before they launch on YouTube. So there's a link in the description if anybody's interested. And that's it. That's the ad. So today we're going to take this guy and we're going to do something cool with this side. It is unsanded today, and the reason for that is I wanted to talk about the process that gets us to this point. Oftentimes, when I'm approached to do something for somebody and I tell them how much it's going to cost, I get kind of deer in the headlights look. What they don't realize is that what you're looking at here is a complete paint job. If this was a car or something, the bodywork's been done, in this case, wood filler on the bamboo to get a nice smooth surface. Sealer coat of primer, then a couple of coats of primer, then the base coat, and then I've got 5 coats of clear on this already. 2 at full density with about half pigment load of the Maximal White Pearl, and then 3 coats on top of that, slightly reduced so that I get a nice smooth surface, or as smooth a surface as I can. I don't know if you can really see, but there are some bumps, and that's what we're about to sand off to get this ready to paint. So by the time you're done, this in and of itself is a full paint job on a car. And that's before we start laying any tape. And it's honestly the time that, I've got as much time invested in this already as I'm going to invest in it today to do the design work on it. So I just kind of thought that was important to share with you guys. Not that I'm selling to all of you, but it's just a question that I get. And it shows that there's more to it than just what I start with. So let me fire up the DA here and we'll get that sanded down some. Use this one so it doesn't make a lot of noise. These Scotch pads are about a 400 grit, so we're going to start with it, and then I have a block sander with a 600 grit to get it ready for paint.
All right, so that should be dry enough. Now let's get some tape on this thing. And we're gonna do standard fare for the most part. You guys have seen this part a few times now. We're just gonna go ahead and run a border around it. Just the added bit will be around the handle here. But I'm going to do a super thin border since we're dealing with a smaller area to work in. No sense having a big 1/4 inch border. These are straight cut edges. I'm not sure when he's going to start doing videos and stuff, but Martin's in here somewhere. And he's going to start doing, I'm assuming it's miniature paintings you're going to be doing, Martin? Just because that's kind of your thing, but Martin is the one that taught Zan and I how to paint. Hey, Steve, welcome in, man. And he is a fantastically talented artist. Yeah, there he is. Paint and Suffering, that's him. So if watching people paint, push paint around in tiny spaces is your thing, go give him a sub, and I'm actually going to have him on the channel. Once he gets going, we'll do a live paint session. Hopefully it won't be like the live paint sessions we used to do at
role to play back in Texas, because that was just, well, I think we drank more than we painted. In fact, I know we did. But it was fun. I still can't believe Tiffany let us do that stuff. I mean, had it been A, sure. But we would like show up with a 12-pack of hard cider. Then we'd all go out to dinner and have drinks. Then we'd come back to the shop and paint some more. And the owner didn't care. We'd just be sitting in the store. Or if she cared, she never said anything about it. Oh, it was a great painting session. We'd start about noon or so. Just show up, cop a squat at some tables, open up our paint kits, and basically just dominate one side of the store. And then just go at it all day. Let me use blue tape a little bit wider. That's right. As long as we didn't get rowdy. Unless she instigated the rowdy, then it was okay. But, you know, owner's privilege and all that. And for this one, unlike last week where I said I wasn't going to have any plans and then came with a plan, this week I have no plan. So we'll see how this goes. Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point of a paint day, is not the paint, right? And just so people don't think that, get the wrong idea that that's all we did was show up and do that. It was a very specific reason, and it was just for the hobby of painting and wargaming. We would be set up, and then if somebody came in and wanted to kind of learn about the hobby, we had people there of all different skill levels that were able to talk in a language that, they could understand. It didn't just sound like jargon, because some of us knew deeper terminology, like, Martin did. And others just kind of made stuff up as we went. I just had the tape. There it is. Hey, everyone, welcome in. Hope you're well today. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so Martin, when you and I were chatting yesterday, and I told you I had a friend of mine's armies here, and I was just going to do some crazy stuff to him just to see how we would react. That'd be Rocket Surgeon. Not painting Harlequins. Let me rephrase that. I'll paint them. They just won't be Harlequins. All right. Let's start making something. Man, I could barely see good enough when you gave them to me to maybe try and paint them. Now, not a chance. I got to do this type of stuff because it's big enough I can focus on it. Oh yeah, I know they make them. I got them. They're just not good enough. I have a horrible stigmatism in one eye, and so it makes readers almost impossible to find something I can focus through. No, let's do. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. Let's do pattern on one half. No. Let's riff on what we did last week. So we kind of did the, or not last week, week before when we did the Atari helmet. Let's divide right down the middle, but we'll spin out here. So kind of flux capacitor. We'll do 3 cells with some 3 fade going on in the middle. I'll try them, man. In fact, I was just talking to Zan about this earlier today. If I'm gonna, some of you probably saw that I did a community post where I think I'm gonna do some miniatures, and I'm gonna have to go and get a pair of readers made for my stigmatism. That way, I can get that. Because right now I just can't see close enough to paint that type of detail, which is very aggravating. Hey, Grumpy, welcome in, man. Good to see you. Where did you land, bastard? Sorry about the language. It is wasp season, and one just landed right above me. Now he's buzzing around my light. I'm actually, there's a chance that I won't be live next week because we are doing construction projects around the house. And one of those is getting some shop work done. So I may take next week off. Just so that I can get the walls up for the new paint area. Partially so I can paint in more inclement weather, partially so that I don't have to worry about the wasp when I have my lights on in here. That looks off. Does that look right? That left side looks a little wonky. Yeah, Dan. I'm separating the shop into different areas. I've got I get so much dust in here that I have to worry about contamination in the paint all the time. So I'm trying to good. Trying to get each area walled off into its own area. Oh, nice. Congrats, Carpy. Well, not to you specifically, but to him. That looks better. Do I want to do? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. You know, I want to put in pinstripe. on, get back down. All right. So I think I'm thinking about doing a lace here. That's a little bit offset, isn't it? Maybe not. I guess it'll be okay. So do a lace pattern here. This is actually going to be the underside. So this will go under these two panels. And then maybe cut some geometric shapes in on this top half. But I think what I want to do with the lace is spray it as an accent fade. So I'll go heavy right around the edges where it's going to dip under the lip again and let that fade out into whatever primary candy I paint. And then that begs the questions, what colors do we do today? Let's look at some lace options real quick. Oh, you know what? So Zan went to a local craft hangout with a bunch of ladies here in town, and they kind of did a swap meet of materials. And she brought me home a ton of lace. So let me grab those out of the box real quick and we'll look at them together because I haven't even opened them up yet. That's cool. More of a fringe end, but that might work for what I want to do. So I'm only talking about doing like right here. That might work. Let's see what else we got. Suzanne, I know exactly how you feel on that account. I will revisit a technique, but I try not to do the same thing twice, just for my own sanity. Okay, that's more the same. I never want this to feel like work. I just want it to feel like fun. Oh, wait. Oh, dude, that is weird looking. Ooh. That might work. Okay, that's a strong possibility. There's another one. That one's kind of cool, but that won't spray because I can't get it flat. I'll have to cut this up first. No, this is going to be the one right here. Because I can get that flat. Yep. Yeah, money changes a lot of things. That tack up for a second. Doobie-doobie-doo. Come on. So how smooth do you reckon that material has to be for you to electro etch, Suzanne? Like one of these hand hammered things that I do, could you do something like that? Or could you do the electro etch on something like that? Well, cool. You might just get one in the mail these days sometime. All right. It should hold. Right. Yeah, that was my concern, is that whatever you're using, your saltwater mixture or whatever you mix up for it, I didn't know if that would be would seep under your mask or not. I'll just have to hold that down, I guess, to paint. Close enough though. All right. So now the big question is, what colors are we using? Oh, well, that's cool. So what would you do? You just do like a vinyl mask, a reverse weeded vinyl mask, and then spray paint the whole thing and then pull your vinyl back out? I'll have to go look them up and see. What's up, Steve? All right, now this is just a little bit of the transparent black that I have mixed up. And we're just going to start heavy right along this edge and let it fade up, and we're going to stop right before we get to this embellishment at the top. Cool. Look forward to seeing how that comes out for sure. All right, Michael, take care. I appreciate you letting it run, man. So now we're going to do a high. Let's see. If I do Oriental blue, I did cobalt blue last week, right? With the purple on the tulip. So if I do Oriental blue this week. Hey, Ray, welcome in. Or do I want to go? Oh, no, let's do copper. No, that's kind of orange. Oh, let's mix copper with the brown. Where to put my juice? Come on. Actually, that's got a little transparent black in there. Let's leave that in there. Mix on the fly. All right, that should be enough. Where's the copper? Sort of. We'll see. I don't know if you saw the helmet I painted in copper, but over the white, it comes out almost an orange color. And this is Maximal White Pearl Flake over a coarse silver. So it's probably going to have a little bit of both elements. But I mean, hey. I don't know if y'all can hear the farty noise, but what I'm doing is if you hold your finger over the tip of the airbrush, give it a little bit of air, You see it start bubbling. So you can mix in your cup. That looks pretty good. All right, let's see what happens. Hey, OP, welcome in. Just in time to start seeing me make a mess. Okay, well, I like it so far. I'm gonna need more. Okay, I like that. Now I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of the gold and I'm gonna come back starting at the tip here and then run back in and let that grade the other way back into the copper. I hate having to pour out custom mixed paint. And the good thing about the gold is that it won't make much of a difference to the coppers and the brown tones. So I don't have to be as careful about the gradient. I can pretty much just spray a nice uniform coat all the way down. Well, it kind of looks like a laboratory beaker, doesn't it? Zan, I do not have my phone with me. If you would grab that off of my desk so that you can, when York Farm gets in touch with you, you know. Sorry. God, Carnival Purple. I mean, it is a good color, but man, there was a ridiculous amount of that stuff. Eek. Always the part I hate the most. The dribbles of paint, that is very accurate. I always meant to ask you about that. Was that like an overrun at Reaper or something, or just that's what ended up in the bin of paints that you ended up with while you were working there? Why did anybody there do anything they did, huh? More specifically, why can't their modelers make feet? All right. As Bob Ross would say, let's have some fun. I have no idea what's going on under there now, so it's kind of a beaker of sorts. Let's try this tape thing again. Okay. I think before I jump into the patterns, I want to build out. I want to shape something in here to contain the top part and keep that uniform. So let's do. Get that back so you can see the full thing. That's close enough. Okay. So I think I want to come across here-ish. Which I suppose is a good thing, by the by, but you can't run a business that way. I mean, not to the level that they were trying to run a business. You don't come into the space knowing that you want to compete with Citadel or Games Workshop rather, and then just be willy-nilly about who you hire to make your models and do short runs of custom paints with no regard to their use after the short run. At least that's my hot take on it. Has it improved their quality any? Model wise, I like their paints. I mean, I know you and I have had discussions about that, but Any moment now, Mr. Gates. Okay, how does... Let's put that in top view for y'all. Let's see how that looks. Looks about even. No need. I got you. I saw you moving the car, so I figured we're waiting on delivery of our annual beef. With all the raining and flooding this year, the farms have been behind, so. Well, I take that back. The farms haven't been behind. The processors have been behind. So. Okay, so now we've got this little area up here we can do something in just for the handle. But now we can carve out some space down here that we can mirror. That'll give us a little something to also pass under to set just a little. Well, actually, no. I guess we could make this go directly under this and then have these go under this completely. That would be cool. So let's tape this off so that it stays. So I should have done that first. That's the problem with doing stuff like this. So you know when I'm telling y'all that you got to tape backwards, this is why, because now I have to go in here and risk cutting through the base coats to pop these lines off. And then tape them off as if I had done them first. Don't they know you're trying to watch somebody paint? we could smell, dude. All right. Okay, so now let's have some fun. We will I think start up here. Put in one more border here. Just so that I end up with a nice silver pinstripe on the inside of this, like we have on the inside of this, just to help stand everything off. If I can hold on to the tape. All right. I'm not worried about hurting myself necessarily, but my ears go to smoke and that camera's right here. Y'all won't be able to see. Don't want to interfere with production quality. Look, man, I've been trying real hard to forget about that. But since you're going to bring it up in public, the rocket surgeon almost killed us one night when we were still babbies. I give him a bunch of grief, but it was dark. We shouldn't have been working on the bike that late. So when it caught fire, you know. But he wanted to hear it run, and well, it ran. I didn't say it ran for long. I just said it ran. You got to hear it. And then we got to hear Mert scream at us for almost catching the yard on fire. Which, honestly, all things considered, was the more entertaining part of it, except for the residual entertainment about giving you crap about catching your bike on fire. You did. You did. And you learned your lesson. You bring them to the dealership to get them worked on now. Rockets, maybe. Motorcycles, not so much. So now the reason I didn't put a tape here because I want this to be one piece directly under this. This is going to be two individual pieces. So that's why they got their own borders. At least in my mind, that's the way it's going to work. When I start spraying paint, we'll see what happens. All right. All right. Now I have something that Zan found for me that I bought a while back and forgot I had. And I kind of want to play with them today. So, found a bunch of stencils at Hobby Lobby, I guess, for like 75 cents a piece. Looks like these are just laser cut Mylar. So do y'all like something like that there, or something with a little more filigree? Where to put my razor? I guess that would be better if I made those the same cell and let that flash over, huh? Because then I could paint here and here, and then maybe come in from the side. No, that's too much. What about this damask pattern? That might work. All right, but two from the, let's see. So we could put that damask. I don't know how that's going to look with the lace, but if I have to, I can repaint that bottom section again. Oh, what just happened? Did the camera go black for you guys? Can y'all hear me? The cameras still say they're rolling. OBS reconnected successfully. Okay, are we back? All right, Michael, take care, man. Hey, we're back. All right. I had no idea what just happened, guys. Okay, we're back. That was bizarre. Okay, what were we talking about? Okay, trying to decide what's going to happen here. So, so I think this up at the top for sure, just because I think that'll look really nice once it gets shadowed in around the handle. And then do we try and separate this out by itself, or do we let the pattern duplicate all the way down so that you get this little bit in as well? Feel free to talk amongst yourself and decide, take a vote, bring it to committee. Hit that like button if you haven't, guys. If you're new here and watching, you like what you're seeing, subscribe. I do this every Tuesday. All right, so we duplicate it. That's the vote from Rocket Man. The question now is what colors? I've got copper and brown with yellow. I definitely want to put some green on here. And I think maybe the green, yeah, I think maybe the green up here, because I can outline this in the green. Then I can come back in with the yellow across the top of it, which will then tie into where you already have the yellow right here in the stem of the beaker shape. All right, let's work with that one. Let's do the top end first and just get it out of the way. So, all right, there it went again. What the heck is going on, man? Yeah, I see it, man, but I don't know what's happening. It just keeps telling me that OBS is disconnecting. But when I look over here, everything looks fine. Got full signal, no drop frames. Yeah, I don't get it, man. Zan, I hear somebody in the driveway. Loose nuts in the front camera. Right. All right, well, look, y'all hang out for just a second. Keep the chat going if you don't mind, so people know that I'm still here. I think the meat guy just got here. I'm gonna run shake hands and help get that truck unloaded, and then I'll be right back with you guys. Dang it, I'm not. Crud. All right, guys. I don't know what's going on. We've degenerated to Primus jokes. Great. Love it. There is an Easter egg, actually, surgeon, in one of my videos that I put in there just for you. I whistle southbound pachyderms. Okay. No, Martin, lacquerhead is when I start cleaning my guns later. All right. I can do one of two things at this point. Y'all just let me know in the chat. I can either close everything down and come back and we can try and finish this today, or I can shut it down and I can just go live random later in the week sometime and finish it up. Which kind of stinks because, you know, I wanted to have this one done for y'all, but I really don't know what's going on with everything. It says I've got plenty of signal. It could go either way, Martin. All right, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and hit the stop button and reboot everything. Actually, no, I'm going to reboot everything with OBS still running and see if YouTube keeps the live running. And when I come back, see if it's back on. So if not, just check my channel. You'll see another live pop up here in a couple of minutes, or hang out and it'll come right back. We'll see. But we're going to Control-Alt-Delete it so that it thinks it crashed. And see if it'll recover. Hey, look at that. It's like magic or something. All right. You already missed my forearms. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. You really have no idea how much I miss you, Martin. You are exactly my type of quirky. All right, let's get this green going. Hit that with a little hairspray. So little thing, I love living small town. The farm just showed up to drop off this half cow. And last year they brought it to me in boxes. Easy, no big deal. It was, I just had a bunch of boxes. This year they showed up and dropped off how many ice chests, Dan? The big ones, the big 30-quart ones or 30-gallon ones or whatever they are. And we're like, oh yeah, just bring them back up to the store when you're done. So cool. Anyway, hey, thanks, Urban. Welcome in, man. Two of them were mine? Okay. I didn't know. He had a bunch of them in there. I didn't know how many of them were ours. Oops. Gotta be careful of those leakers. Do y'all like that camera or this camera when I start painting the up close stuff? It looks pretty good. Careful, Dan. I might blame the fact that it went to black screen on you, man. Woodworkers and race car drivers always looking for the easy excuse. Yes, you did. I'm gonna have to check that out about Patreon and see if they do the copyright strike thing. That might make lives a lot more fun if we can jam some tunes when I'm working on stuff. For those of you that missed the announcement at the beginning, I have a link to my Patreon in the description. Limited offering at a discounted rate for the max tier. If you're interested and would like to help the channel. I am always sailing the seas of cheese. But that's only because I don't sit back and smoke away huge tracts of memories anymore. I think that's enough. Get everything. Yep. Crap, what did I miss? Urban, my friend, from the bottom of my heart, be careful what you ask for. That's all I'm going to say. It's like right in that glare. Let's see if I can get, there you go. Oh yeah, there we go. So now we're going to coat that with the gold, I think. Oh no, you know what I should have done? Oh, yep, nope, hold up. Let's see, no, it was this way. Yep. definitely don't recommend trying this part, because if you ever want to try this, but because relining it is always a pain, but I'm gonna do it because I just thought of something cool. We're still gonna overspray it in the yellow, but we're gonna overspray it in the yellow with the frame still in place, so that when we pull it up, we get that nice silver line. Hey, Vineyard, welcome in, man. Glad you could stop in. Let me get this green out. Yes, I'm that guy that pours all his extra paint back in the pot when I can. That's okay, man. I appreciate you being here. You do what you got to do.
Feed shithead, it's 2:01 p.m.
Yeah, man, give it a go. Need any tips or whatever? I mean, I'm not the best, but I don't spill paint. What did, Dan? The music interlude? Well, this is the type of thing that I will be putting on my Patreon for tips and tricks and lessons and stuff. So if it's something you're into and you just like the sound of my voice or just think you want to throw money at me. All right. So that was the idea I had. I didn't want to leave, there we go. I didn't want to leave that yellow across the entire frame. I think I like that yellow with the green inside of it. Now, how it's going to match with the brown and the copper? Could look like absolute trash when it's done. But, you know, it's kind of the fun about doing this stuff live, isn't it? Ah, yes. So that's the alarm to feed the cat. And I found out that Android will read anything you type in there. So the alarm says, feed shithead, it's 2 o'clock. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. I have a thing about putting my face on camera. Not that anybody here who knows me will tell you that I have a problem with vanity or anything. But this channel is not supposed to be about me as an individual. I'm building it to promote the business that my wife and I run. And I don't want me as an entity becoming the focus, which is why I do my best to make sure that in the videos that I make, yeah, you'll see me from time to time, but by and large, it's just my hands. And that's because it's not about me, it's about what I'm making. And so I keep my face out of it. Which is probably going to be a dead giveaway to what's going to happen Thursday night on the Lens show. But anyway, y'all can see Thursday night how that goes. Yes, very much. It's about the work. Not that I don't have faith that my pretty face could sell some tickets, but you know. That better not be my pretty face comment you're laughing at. I just see a couple little leakers here between this fine line, so I want to make sure I get those before I start taping and patterning in that area. When you get these little bitty cracks in these tapes, if you get an overspray of too dark of a color, you can't hide it. And now you have a line where there shouldn't be one, and there's really nothing you can do about it because there's no clear coat to protect it. I'm just messing with you, Suzanne. It was just funny that I looked up after seeing it and I saw that comment from you. That's all. But I think Zan offered it earlier for people that sign up for Patreon today. She'll put together a little care package of some of the wares she makes. All right. Jeez. Got to see my beard? It's not too hard. Yeah, I've had a white beard for I don't know, I'm 50 now, so probably 20 years. Zan acts all nice in the chat and stuff, but really she wears you out. What, you're saying I was gray since puberty? You might actually be right. All right. So we're going to do at Rocket Surgeon's request. We're going to do this in here, but we still got to come up with a color scheme. Where to put my glue? There we go. Yes. Perfect. Uncle Dago in the house. I've had gray. Oh, crud, man. I'd be lying if I told you I remembered when it started. In my mid-20s sometime, I would imagine. Well, actually, no, earlier than that. I think I already had a small gray stripe in my goatee coming in when I met Zan. And we'll be married 29 years this year, I think. Okay. So this is the pattern we're going to use in this frame, and then we're going to mirror that over here. So the question I have for the audience is, what color? So as a reminder, we have root beer brown mixed with copper underneath the main section. We have OG green and yellow in the top sector. And the question is do I want to blast this with color like a red or something crazy. Or do I want to go more subdued? Ooh, what if I did black? Just black over silver. And then shadow that in. That would look nice, I think. Well, or do I want to stick with the greens? Silver shadow idea, huh? All right, I'll do that, but I'm going to do it in the transparent black so that when I lay the actual shadows in the regular black, it comes out. Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right, I got some yellow left in here. Drain out some of that. And then I'm going to mix the transparent black on top of the yellow. Go ahead and get a full pot so I don't have to remix. Lid. Uh-oh. Where'd I put the lid? Poop. Can't be that far. Come on. Right side of the tape. Him in there. That. Razor, 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 tape. Dude. All right, this is comical, actually. All the woodworkers in here know exactly what I'm going through because you do it with your tape measure every day. Oh, it probably is, dude. All right, so we're going to hobo this. If y'all can see that, I'm just going to put some tape over the top of it and pop a hole in it so it can breathe. It's actually kind of what I'm hoping for, Martin. Not that I want that kind of baby poop green, but I've already got the greens and the browns on. So I'm hoping with a heavy enough transparent black, I just get a nice, not completely black, but you know, just kind of an off color. Hey, Nikki, welcome in. Always glad to see new names in the chat. Hey, MG. Getting close to your bedtime, huh? I appreciate you stopping in before you close the day out. Okay, MG, I have a question for you. How close is Swedish to Icelandic? Like, I know that German and English share a lot of words that are really close to each other. Do the two languages share anything in common? I know when I'm trying to translate stuff from, like, say, Old Viking, sometimes it runs it through Swedish, sometimes it runs it through Old Icelandic. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that. Stencils aren't generally my thing, but I found some, so we're going to try them today. Okay, then let me ask you this, if you understand some Icelandic. The word for friend, it has like a G sound at the end, but it ends in an R, at least in Old Icelandic it does. Or friends, rather, plural. V-I-N-I-R is how it's spelled in Old Icelandic. But it sounds like a J-A sound, like a J, when I listen to the translation. So this is funny. I can actually see better looking at the camera how dense stuff is in the light. So that's a hard A. I don't know the accent. So is that Van or Von? Ah, okay, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was trying to name things for my Patreon, and to keep within the lines with runic and the whole theme, I was looking for not necessarily Viking sounding, but of the region to stay in the theme. And Friends is one of the ones that I landed on, but I didn't want to say it and pronounce it wrong. And then I remembered you showed up. And so I was like, hey, it's a perfect time to ask somebody that might know. So thank you very much. I appreciate the clarification. Exactly, Zan. You only get so much when you're listening to the digital voice. %100% could. In fact, I do that with lace quite often, Dan. I will spray, I'll spray the lace with a white, which interferes with the metal flake behind it, and then offset it just a little bit and then do the black, so that then when I come over with the candy and the clear coat, you end up with kind of like this holographic shadow line that sits either just under or just above, depending on the direction you offset from. When I finish construction here in the shop, and I can move my cameras around a little bit, I'll bring in close on the motorcycle that I painted for Doc, and you'll be able to see that under the serape pattern that I did, I actually did that exact technique. I took some the material you use in cabinet liners, just that foamy stuff you put down to put your plates on. I used that, and I offset it, and what ended up happening was it made it look like it was actually a fabric weave. So then when I laid the serape art on top of it, it kind of gives it this dirty blanket look. Oh, then stick around for a minute, because I actually have lace under here, Nikki. That was one of the first things I did on this, was spray a piece of lace today. All right, let's hope I got that density good enough. Oh yeah, that looks great. Fantastic. Throw that up into the camera for y'all. Just like grandma's backsplash. All right. Now let's right, so let's pull these up. Wait, this one's got to come up. These have to go back down. There. All right, Martin, since you're back in here, what color should I spray over this? Oh, sweet, MG. That's awesome. Anybody in here that isn't subscribed, go check her out. She is another multifaceted crafter. Dabbles in a little bit of everything. But she has a great sense of mystique about her because, haha, we've never seen anything she does. Nice and quiet and secretive. And I like it. Dan, I believe it's at Dread Goddess. Is the at you can find her at. Yep, there she is. Thank you, Zan. And if you're in here for the first time, most of the people in this chat all have channels. And a lot of them, well, I say a lot of them, all of them are extremely talented people. We've got woodworkers, we've got carvers, we've got painters. And of course, it's about that time for me to mention that if you're not subscribed and you like what you're seeing, I do this every Tuesday. And we would love to see you back. So take a minute and hit that subscribe button if you would. That'd be great. All right. Oops, that's too far on that one. Now all I'm doing here is just walking around this perimeter, and I don't know if y'all can really see right here. Sorry for the microphone. But the tape goes over the curve there, and if I let that stand, then when I paint whatever color I fill in the back, you'll have a clipped off spot where the silver peeks through again. All right. So I'm going to get the shadow layer sprayed here. And then we're going to decide on what color to paint the rest of this thing. So this can get. Ooh, I wonder if I threw that dang thing in my scrap bin. That would stink. All right, we're back again. Sorry, guys. I really don't know what's going on. I've got plenty of signal out here, and I just keep dropping in and out, and I'm not sure what's causing it. And I'm black again. Why is the screen black again? Okay, one more time. We'll try this and see what happens. Put my hand under the camera so I know when it updates. All right. All I can say is this is going to be a nightmare to edit out from my time lapse. So now it looks like my chat froze. So let me hit a quick refresh on that. All right. 21 likes so far today. Not too bad. Not too bad. Piece of tape here. All right. Let's get some shadows laid in. Did it really what, surgeon? Thanks, Michael. Hey, baby K, welcome in. Let's see. Get some more chat here. No, surgeon, this is actually just straight black. I'm just spraying it at a very low output, but I didn't want to use the transparent over this because the transparent is what the actual pattern is sprayed in. All right. Wait, do you have shorts on your channel? I could have sworn when I looked, I didn't see any. I'm going right now. Hold up. I ain't even messing around. Y'all gonna have to wait. This is important. I literally saw this bear one come up the other day on my feed, and I didn't realize it was you. Ah, that's awesome. Okay, well, I know what I'm doing tonight. So bank on it. You're gonna get a bunch of likes and a lot of comments from me this evening. It's gonna happen. All right. So since Martin was the only one that voted, we're going with red. All right, but we're gonna bring out the big gun for it so I can get an even coverage. Number 4. Nope, that's number 12. Where's number 4? That's number 4. All right. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, dude, I'm going 100% murder candy on this thing. Oh yeah, Jolly Rancher red. All right. It is the magic moment time, people. Where we start pulling tape off and see how bad we mess stuff up. Let's see here. Here we go. All right. So we'll start with this. Because we still have one more element to paint. Remember, we put the multiple lines for the center pattern, so we're gonna have to wait on some stuff to mask off or to dry up. All right. Uh-oh. No, not that piece. Yeah, that's gonna stink. Gonna have to wait to relay that one until the candy sets. Dang it. I love the peeling part too when it goes to plan. Here we go. Okay, so my big old melon was in the way, but basically what happened was this little 2mm piece came up when I was pulling the big tape off. And that's the offset pinstripe. So that one can't come up until we pull the whole thing or it blows the illusion out of the water. And then you don't get the depth. So I had to get it stripped back into place real quick. All right, so there's what we have so far. I know it looks kind of a mess, but the colors will come together a little bit more when we get the gradient sprayed here. And when we get some clear coat on. Zip it, surgeon. So now the question becomes, what color am I going to put down? Yeah. Because that one's coming up. And this one's coming up. So what I'm looking for is a color that oh, baby K, they've been through a lot today. The feed's gone down like 4 times and they've all stuck through it. So I'm being real lenient because they've stuck around. Maybe your mama, Martin, but surgeon's mama, well, I know all those kids. Maybe I should have left that one silver and just painted the one on the outside. All right, one more question for the audience. What if I put the green tape back where the silver stripe was? Pull up the 2 outside stripes and spray them black right up the middle. And then leave the silver, black, silver stripes to cut the whole piece up. All right, so since Suzanne's paying attention, that's what we'll go with. Are you haying at my paying attention comment? No, it's a good thing. Like I ask and you're always the one that answers. So it's like, that's cool. You just get a private custom paint session every Tuesday. Uh-oh. Oh no, I can work with that. That's cool. All right. So we'll take that one off instead. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here next week, same time. More shenanigans. Oh, actually, I guess I should say maybe not next week. So anybody that missed at the beginning, um, we're doing work in the shop. So depending on how progress goes, we may or may not be live next week. Gonna try and have everything ready. I mean, the shop doesn't have to be finished. I just have to be able to set back up to paint. So gonna try and have that taken care of, but we'll see. Absolutely, Suzanne. You have a great day. That is pretty much where I found myself, Martin. I've got pretty good space out in the shop, but it's it's so dusty out here because I've got my woodworking stuff, my blacksmithing stuff. So it makes painting a particular pain in the butt because I have to come out here and clean everything before I can paint. So we're trying to wall in the painting area. And then I can also add some ventilation in here. All I'm doing now is cleaning up these corners where I know I'm going to have some black overspray for shadow. Or potentially overspray, but I don't want these little end pieces of tape getting in the way and leaving a pattern. For instance, I'm not spraying right up against this line, but I am spraying against this line. So if something comes over here and there's a little piece of tape sitting there, when I pull that tape off, you'll see the outline of the tape. Yes, Rocket, and motorcycle painting stuff. When I get everything set up, I'll do a kind of a tour. But essentially, what I have going on is, let's just call this my paint area. So the door to the shop is right here. I want to wall off this area here and then put my painting station for the small stuff over in this corner. I'm going to build another wall right here. And the curtains that you see in big walk-in freezers, just going to hang a set of those right here. So that when I go to clear coat, I'll clear coat in this area here, separated from the rest of the painting area. So that I can walk in there, spray, and I can still have a camera set up in there so you guys can see. All right, now this I want to mask off because I don't want to lose any of that color. Yes, Martin, tape, tape, tape. Oh, I've got some, but it's more of an aggravation than it is a help. It's like I understand that it's important, but sometimes I think I'd rather just die than get my dust collection working. Just seems like it'd be easier. Martin, I've seen those and they're amazing. They're also very expensive. You get it for the walls, and you can also get it to go under the mats of the shop so that anything that drifts to the ground just gets pulled out into a water reclamation system and cleaned. It's a fascinating system. Okay, so for the red and for the yellow, I don't really care if I get a little overspray on that because it'll just add to the shadow layer. So hopefully I've got enough paint in here to do this. right. Let's try this again now. All right, here comes the hooray moment. Maybe. We'll see. Oh yeah, that looks much more smixy. He's probably still in here. He just forgot that he was watching. Oh man, this corner came out so good looking. Only thing I wish I would have done, I wish I would have left the silver line right up this edge. It's all right though. It's the difference between trying to paint this stuff in a couple of hours for you guys and taking time for a custom job where you spend hours planning each piece of tape. And if I'm being honest, I like this format better because I like finding the imperfections and looking at them and going, oh, well, I could have done that different. But you didn't, so you didn't. And you can't cry about it because you're just trying to get something done in a certain amount of time. So it's like this exercise. And I kind of find it invigorating. And I hope you guys do as well. All right, so the only spot I want to clean up is, I don't know if you guys can see, let's see. So right here at the top, you can see just this little space. I'm not going to worry about these three lines because they're even, but these I'm going to scrape off just so that they stay even with that edge. A little continuity there. And this is exactly why we're painting over basically a complete paint job, because I'm scratching on the clear coat and not on a paint layer, which means that when I clear coat over it, the scratches are gone. All right. So there we go. You can see now that because those two edges are nice and smooth, the other three sticking up look more of a design element than anything else. And Nikki, I don't know if you're still in here or not, but I hope you are, because there's that lace pattern that I sprayed as a gradient under the copper and gold. Thank you, MG. Thank you, Baby K. But we're not done yet. We still got to add the special sauce. So I'm going to step back for just a second, have a little shot of water. Mexican water, but yes, water. And then we'll make the stinky happen. Thanks, MG. That is a combination. I don't know if you were in, no, you weren't in here when I sprayed. It is a combination of the copper candy. What did I use? Root beer brown. And I think, Martin, did I have transparent black in it? All right. All right, so as always, I'm using the PCX 45 from Vanderslice. Link in the description. Yes, I'm an affiliate. No, he doesn't pay me. He's just a great guy. I love him and I love everything he does. So. All right. Oh, shoot. Hold on, guys. I got to open the door and clean this gun out real quick. All right, Martin, for you. Lacquerhead time. All right, I am going to kick you guys over to camera 2. Get to a nice view so you can see the clear coat go on. Ooh, that needs to be out of the way. I'll breathe it, but I'm not going to drink it. That's a lie. I'd drink it too. Thank you, Martin. Such a silly thing, the transition, but then you spend hours just looking at it over and over again. Is that too long? Is that too short? Is that too long? Is that too short? Drink it and smell the colors. I mean, sort of. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Magic time. Oh, it's so pretty. We'll let that tack up for just a second. Said it before, I'll say it again. This is if you're not careful, those candies will reactivate as soon as they get wet. So you want to hit it lightly. That way you don't get bleed. On flat projects like this, really not a bad thing. I've never had it happen to me on anything round, but I know from people I trust that you'll spend a lot of time spraying and then you go to clear coat, and if you put it on too heavy, you literally just watch the paint run down the side of a car. And that's got to be heartbreaking, but you know, it is what it is. Thank you, baby K. It warms my heart knowing you guys enjoy this stuff. And it gives me somebody to talk to, because otherwise I'd just be out here rambling like I do now, except it would just be me and the board. Then I feel like I'm like, oh, well, maybe that's something wrong with me. But, you know, hey, now we're painting. No, I still mumble to myself, dude. 100%. Anybody that was in here earlier for the stories about when we used to sit around the game store and drink and paint, I would mumble to myself sitting at the table with 8 people sitting around me. People going, what? What? Nothing, man. Nothing. Just talking. Get a little draft in here. Actually, I'm gonna leave that open because y'all can see that clear coat real good with that reflection in there. Nice. So, Baby K, I don't know if you saw my post, but I'm gonna do some miniature painting soon. I don't know when I'll do it, but it'll be pretty quick. Anyway, Paint and Suffering is Martin. That's the guy that taught Zan and I how to paint miniatures. Right on. Yes. Then it's got a weird bump effect going on. I can't figure that out. That's weird. To me, it looks like there's a texture right in here, but I think it's just the paint from the where I was spraying the lace. And I don't know if you guys can see. Whoops. Oh, I'm in the wrong camera. Let me switch back to camera one real quick. I don't know if y'all can see in there, but there's a slightest little bit of pink tint that I didn't get all of the candy out. So this red's gonna, or the whole candy, or clear coat rather, is going to have a slight red tint to it the more I get going. Hey, Janelle, welcome in. You're just in time to see the magic stuff go down. Oh yeah, that looks much better. All right, so I'm gonna pour this back in. I'm gonna keep that pink tint to it because actually I kind of like it. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let that set up for a minute, and I'm gonna take what's in here. There, you can kind of see that slight pink hue from the candy. I'm going to add just a drop of reducer to thin it out so that when I spray the next couple of coats, they smooth out a little bit better. Thank you, Michael. And as long as you don't do too much reducer, it's not a problem. It doesn't affect the clear coat because all the protection is in those first couple layers we laid down. What you're adding now is basically like a glamour layer, just to kind of help everything look a little bit more smooth. It also cuts down the workload when it comes time to cut and buff and get that mirror shine on the clear coat. Another little thing you can do, anybody ever wants to try this stuff, on your base coats, if you do the lacquer thinner idea, or I'm sorry, do the same thing I just did with the reducer, but use a touch of lacquer thinner in your clear coat, or if you're doing like a white base coat, it will actually cause it to crack when it dries. So you can get a very old patinaed look out of your paint. I call it a Charlie Sheen. Lovely. Anyway, so if you're trying to go for that old kind of vintage look, you can add that drop of lacquer thinner, get the paint to crack up as it cures, and then you can spray right over it with your clear. And if you're using a high solids clear, then it'll just fill in like any resin and you won't even know that the cracks are there. You'll just be able to see them as an aesthetic cue. All right, I'm going to leave you guys to watch paint dry for just a second. I am going to step into my office. Yes, that was a Happy Days reference. For those of you that don't know Happy Days and follow along, you know that Suzanne and Suzanne do the M&M thing. So yes, I went around the outside. Janelle, are you admiring my? Oh no, that's whose hair are we watching? Oh, that was Zan that posted the wrist. Okay. All right, MG, you got to see all the good stuff. I appreciate you stopping in, and thanks for the help with the verbiage. I appreciate that. You have a great night now. Thank you, Janelle. And this is why I love having other artists hanging out in the chat. Spin that around, y'all can catch a look at the, oh no, that's bad. Hold up. There we go. Oh no, that's even worse. That one on, that one off. Yeah, there we go. Okay. No worries, Dan. You're probably right. It does get grayer the longer you watch. So the idea behind them, Janelle, is I'm sure you've seen like the little fold out stands for putting pictures and stuff in. I make these for people to use to put on their counters. So throw it up on your counter with the art side out. But if you want to use it as a cheese board, let me flip you over to camera one. The other side is a perfectly functional cutting board. You guys laugh, man, but like my beard is a fraction of what it used to be. It got the bobbit procedure, let's say, last year, and I'm just growing it back, but it was full on almost belly button length when I cut it off last year. Thank you, BK. Let's see how we doing here. All right, we're about ready for another coat. Let me get this other light on. Nope, that's off. There we go. Okay, to be fair, my belly was a lot closer to my chin at that time. I've lost a lot of weight since then. Just saying, but you know. Too much of a good thing. Nah, I loved it. All right, so funny thing. When we were still living in Florida, it used to be really easy for Suzanne to find me in the stores because long gray hair, long gray beard, I stuck out like a sore thumb. Then we moved to Kentucky, and now every other guy in the store is long gray hair, long gray beard. She can't find me for shit. All right, now look at how smooth that came out. That's that little bit of reducer. And let's see, you see that line right there? You can see it is way less jagged where that light line is. Just helps it flow just a touch better. It already flows really good. I can't help it that the Kentucky dress code is blue jeans, gray shirt, long gray beard, long gray hair. It's not my fault. I mean, they've got good taste. What can I say? Emphasis on the summer of fun. Whereabouts were you, Janelle? I think you're right, Martin. I think it just has something to do with the hills. Fort Knox, okay. We're down in the Big South Fork area of the Daniel Boone National Forest. Let that set up just a second more, and I'll add one more coat to it, and I think we'll call this done. Well, I mean, you're not wrong, dude. It just makes it easy. Still got this little spot right there that's a little bit bumpy that I'm not happy with, but I am very pleased with that copper gradient, though. Pat myself on the back for a second. That came out really well. And it's one of my favorite ways to use lace. I like it as a pattern, but I like it more as a border. Oh, dude, I like the 90s when everybody was into flannel and stuff, and it's like, why is this a thing? And they're like, because it's a thing. And I'm like, but it's just a thing. And it never stopped being a thing. I'm actually not sure. It doesn't really look like orange peel to me when I hold it in the light. I think it's actually, let's get y'all in camera one here and see if we can investigate a little bit. See, it looks pretty smooth most of the way through, but there's just a couple of spots where it looks like it's got some rises. So I'm thinking maybe when I was sanding the base coat, there we go. See, it doesn't really have that orange peel look. The right there, you see those two dots that are showing up in the white? I think it's just that I didn't sand quite smooth enough when I was getting the pearl flake out. Which just, again, goes to show how much prep it takes. So in the beginning of the broadcast today, I was talking about why these things are so expensive. And that's because you basically have a paint job before the paint job starts. And yes, exactly. Metal flake being contrary. This is a pearl flake, not a metal flake, but same premise. You basically have a complete paint job done before you even start. So when I go to sand that final clear coat on the base paint, if you don't get it correct, this is the type of problem you have. Now, I can get that out when it comes to my final cut and buff. I can make all of that go away. But it's just kind of aggravating when I see it here because you're like, man, I thought I had everything prepped up right and I don't. So oh, the flannel is. Yeah, funny how styles just change. It's like the style itself doesn't go away. It's just the people that use it change. So you go from one group of people to another group of people. All right, almost ready. Cut it how? You mean when I cut and buff or when I actually cut the clear coat? Surgeon. Hey, don't be messing with my ports now. Hipster or homeless. 100%, man. 100%. Thank you, Janelle. All right. One more coat. We're going to call it done. Looks much nicer. Good deal. Nope. There we go. That's the one. Yeah, you can see that line gets. Where's my finger? There we go. See, it's jagged here, but then as you get over here, it gets really smooth. So I think I just ended up missing some spots right in here when I was sanding it down. Okay, so when I cut the clear, I just use a few drops of my urethane reducer to help thin it out so that it flows a little bit better. It's one of the it helps me to see the spots that I was indicating that are right in this area here. Because now instead of the clear coat trying to stay proud of everything, it allows it to lay flatter and let those high spots show through. So now when I go to do the cut and buff, I can see the spots that need work versus the spots that don't need work. And sometimes you get lucky and that's enough that it will flow through the area and give you a pretty clean area that you don't really need any work on. You just buff it and you're finished. Does anybody know what a gutter punk is if they haven't been in New Orleans? I thought that was a NOLA thing. Then I wear flannel every day. I have actually. I have a couple of projects that I would like to do similar to what's going on right in here for woodworking projects where I can do like the corners of the table. But what I want to do is instead of painting, I want to laser burn the art and then I want to candy over the laser directly and then just do a resin pour. So the table gets the resin protection, but I have the depth of the laser cut plus the candy cover, then the clear coat on top of that, or the resin on top of that. right, let me get my other lamp over here and close the door, and I'll give you guys one last good look before we close it for the night. I'm gonna leave you guys on, I think on camera 2, because that's the better angle. And then I'll just kind of put this guy right here where y'all can see as I spin it. Zan or Dan, zip it, man. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. BK, this is for nobody. Actually, this one is for sale. I think I want $100 for it, maybe. It was a fun one. I didn't not enjoy the process. So anybody who wants to buy it can benefit from that. But yeah, it's just kind of a general. A lot of these are going to end up on our website when we finally get it launched. Zan said earlier that, you know, she had some stuff that she would give away to people that signed up for Patreon. That's all from her. She does soaps, bath and body products, knitting, quilting, weaving, all sorts of things. And then, of course, you know, all the stuff that I do out here in the shop. And that's what this whole project is about, is just kind of supporting that. So if somebody's interested in it, hit me up and, you know, I'll see. It'll be about 2 weeks before I can ship it, because I got to let this cure coat, or the clear coat cure, not cure coat clear, before I can put it in a box. But yeah, so that's about it. But I'm glad you guys stuck around. Those of you that were here through all the interruptions, you're a blessing. Thank you so much for staying. Dan, there are 25 slots for the founders on my Patreon. You can get in for $8 a pop every month. And when I sell 25 of them, I will unlist that. So there will nobody will be able to get in at that price point again. And then I'll have a $5 and a $10. The $5 limit will get you early access to my videos, and the $10 access will get you everything that the Founders offers up. So if it's something you're interested in, if it's something you guys can afford, I would appreciate the support. And to be honest, the Founders are all I'm really looking for. the money that would generate for me would be enough to continue paying for the materials it takes to make these boards every month. And that's really all I'm looking for. So if something else comes of that, that's great. But really, it's just it's a way for you guys to reach out and help if you're interested. If not, hey man, just continue to watch the videos. I like having you guys here anyway. So with that, I am going to call it an evening and go inside and get something to eat. Oh, you know what? Nope. Let me pop this out first. I got one more piece of tape to remove. Oh, so satisfying. Oh, it almost came out all together. That would have been splendid. All right, here we go. No, there we go. All right, there it is. All right, there it is. That's the finished product. I'll kick y'all over to camera one real quick so you can see it. That's it. All right. I appreciate you guys hanging out today through all the turmoil and trouble and sticking with me until it was done. I think it was worth it. You guys have a blessed week, and I am on Delen's live podcast thingy, whatever he calls it, on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. So if you guys are interested in hearing me answer some questions and stuff, then that's where you can find me next. If not, I will see you next Tuesday at noon. Thank you for tuning in.